Right, let's make sure this mic is working. Hello! Welcome everybody. Welcome to My Tutor AI Squads. Just to let you know, we will be starting around 5 past, just to let everyone join in and make sure they're all here. But if you are here with us, say hello in the chat. Maybe say, where you're from, what kind of things you're studying. It'd be nice to know whether people are doing, GCSEs or more A-levels. Maybe you're doing Scottish Highers. Just message in the chat, say a quick hi, and then at 5 past we're going to get started. Just to let anyone who is just dropping in, we're going to be starting around 5 past. So don't worry if you're just dropping in. Feel free to go sit down, maybe get a cup of tea, relax, get yourself in the right mindset, because we're going to cover quite a lot today. And I hope you guys are really interested in AI as well, because we're going to be covering a lot of different AI concepts today. Oh, there's probably a few things I should also mention. In the description, there is also a form that you can fill out. I'd recommend you do it at the end of the session, but it's basically a form that you can fill out to tell us whether or not you're enjoying these sessions and how you're finding them. So I do need to remind you about that. And I'll also remind you about the 2 other tutors that we have. So we're running 3 different squads this term. So we're running AI squads, but we're also running a chemistry squad and a math squad as well. So I recommend you check those out around this term as well. But for those who are just joining in, first of all, welcome. And second of all, we are starting at 5 past today. So if you're just joining in, say a quick hello in the chat. Maybe tell me a bit about yourself, what you like about AI, anything like that. And yeah, then we'll get started. Someone's asking, do I get a gift card for doing the form like last time? I am not sure. I will check, but I am not entirely sure. Yeah, just to let everyone who's just jumping in right now, starting at 5 past, so you don't need to get right on it. Just sit back, relax, get yourself a drink. I've got myself a cup of tea here. And then, yeah, we'll get started. Someone says, I love robots 2005, and that's where I found out about AI. That is brilliant. I mean, if you can find your AI love from anywhere, that's what I want to see. So, brilliant. What about everybody else? Where did you find out more about AI or why you like it? Watching Blade Runner, brilliant. You know what? I've never seen Blade Runner, but I've heard it's really, really good. But I never find time to watch movies, so maybe I should put that one on my list because I really want to see it. But I just never have time. But now you mention it, I might try and make time. Anyway, that is 5 past, so we are going to get started. First of all, let's do a quick test. Can everyone see the presentation on the screen? If you can, please type yes into the chat, because I'm not entirely sure. Okay, we got some yeses there. Fantastic. So, let's start. So, first of all, hi everyone. Welcome to the AI Squads from my tutor. So, before we begin, I'm just going to tell you a bit of background about myself. So, my name is Fliss. I am a student at the University of Glasgow, and I study aerospace engineering. I use a lot of the AI concepts that we're going to cover in my everyday life, as in my spare time, I help to design autonomous cars. So, without further ado, let's have a look at what we're going to cover in this course. So we're going to cover the basic concepts surrounding AI and have a look at what AI actually means. Then we'll look at some examples and also make sure you have all the software that you need for this course. Then we're going to look at how AI actually works. We're going to look under the hood. We're going to look around and try and figure out the algorithms on how it actually works. And that comes in the form of machine learning and deep learning. So, without further ado, let's move on to software installation. Now, I've designed this course so you don't need to install anything, but you will need to log into certain things. So the majority of this course is done with something called Machine Learning for Kids and Replit, which is an online Python compiler. Just a heads up, has anyone here done Python before? Yes or no in the chat if you have or haven't. I will say it's okay if you haven't done Python before. So comment says a little bit. I've got yeses from Luca, yeses from Vec, a bit. The Diz experts, a bit, very basic stuff. That's fine. I will explain what we're actually doing in Python, but that's fine. As long as you've had a little bit of Python knowledge before, that'll be fantastic. The late half of the course is where we need to do a bit of installation, and we're going to be using something called Google Colab. I'm guessing a lot of you have never heard that before, and that's fine. I'm going to show you how to use it and how to run it on your computer. You will need a Google account for Google Colab. So if you don't have one, I would recommend you get one. You don't need one. You don't need a Google account for this session specifically, but you will need a Google account for some of the sessions going forward. So I've opened up a private browser on my screen because I don't want any of my logins, and I'm going to show you how to use Google Colab. So the way that you find it is, first of all, you search for Google Colab, and it will be the first thing that comes up. Welcome to the Collaboratory. Basically, it's a way of being able to make Jupyter notebooks, if anyone's ever heard of that, online. Jupyter Notebooks is just a way of being able to run Python code. So what you do is once you're on this page, the Collaboratory, you're going to press sign in, and then you'll sign in with your Google account. I'm going to quickly turn off the screen for this part because I don't want to show my details. So 2 seconds. Okay, just need to quickly log into my Google account. And there we go. So let me just bring it back onto the screen there. And then once you log in, it should look something like this. I'm going to give everyone a few seconds just to try that. Once you're at this kind of stage, just let me know in the comments, just say yes or move on, and I will move on and show you what this is. Okay, comment says that they're in. Fantastic. I'll wait a few more seconds just to make sure everyone's caught up. It works. Fantastic. I love it when things work. Someone said, yeah, okay, fabulous. Right. This isn't necessary for today's content, but I'll give you a quick demonstration about how Jupyter Notebooks work. So the way that you use Jupyter Notebooks is you first type new notebook, and then it creates this whole kind of working space here. So you can give it a new name. I'm just going to call it day 1. And you'll notice that there are 2 different options that you have here. You have one to add code and one to add text. So if I click the code button, I can then start to actually add in code. So this is all Python code, by the way. So if I type in print, and then the most basic Python command you could find, print hello world. And then if I press Control Enter, hopefully it will run hello world. Probably going a little bit slower because I'm streaming as well, but if you guys could all try that, pressing code, writing a very simple print statement just to make sure it works. Oh, there we go. It did hello world there. If it's working for you, please let me know in the comments. Conversely, if it's not working for you, please type in the comments that it's not working and I'll see what I can do to fix it. While you're all doing that, I'm going to just take a quick break and drink my drink. Okay, so someone's got it working. Fantastic. Comet says, yes, it's working. Fabulous. We'll just wait for maybe a few more people to try it, and then we'll move on. There is one other part as well. So the coding is the main part. You can write quite a lot of code in these wee blocks. So I could do more than one print statement if I wanted. You can write out like as many lines as you like. The other thing that you can do is text. So you can add a text cell here, and you can just type regular text. That's not going to be seen as code. So I can write, this is a program where I have written hello world. And it's kind of like putting comments in your code, so you can explain what you're doing in each stage. It's not necessary, but it's a bit nice. So those are the 2 things that you need to know about. So I've written hello world. When you're happy for me to move on, people, just let me know, and I will. Okay, comment is asking me to move on. Let's give everyone else just a few more minutes just to make sure. So far I'm not hearing any issues, which is remarkable. Remarkable for any kind of programming thing. I'll give it one more minute and then I'll move on. Yes, you can move on from Ella. Thank you, Ella. Fantastic. So the other part is that you can also save it in your Google Drive. For those of you who have Google accounts, you should be quite familiar with a Google Drive, but you can just save that and then you can open it again. It's very, very straightforward. For those of you who don't currently have Google accounts, I would strongly, strongly recommend that you get one, as it makes the rest of the course a lot easier to do. Most of the course can be done without Google Collab, except for the last part, but I still very strongly recommend that you do. Anyway, let's move on to the actual AI stuff. So we were... here. Can everyone see my screen, by the way? Is it possible for some of these to work with Microsoft email? As far as I'm aware, no. Because it's a Google software, it works with Google. Google Colab works with Google, right? So you do need a Gmail account to do this, unfortunately. But yeah, good question. Anyway, so that is all the software installation we need to do. Let's actually have a look at the big question of the day. What is artificial intelligence? So let's start with some definitions. A lot of the time when you look at AI, you hear the words AI and machine learning and deep learning used interchangeably, but they actually do refer to different things. So AI is basically any computer that appears to be intelligent, aka can perform the task of humans. Machine learning, on the other hand, is actually a subset of AI, and then deep learning is a subset of machine learning. Hopefully that all makes sense. We have so many different examples of artificial intelligence in our lives and in our home. I've included some of the examples on the slide. Can anyone else think of any examples? Type in the comments, think of any examples of AI that you know of, or you have in your home, or you've used in your everyday life. I'm really curious to see what kind of things you guys use as AI. Comment says toothbrush, question mark, question mark. Yes, there are toothbrushes now that have artificial intelligence in them. I know. Anyone else got some ideas of different artificial intelligences that they've used in their everyday life? Fortnite? I guess there must be some artificial intelligent characters in it. I've never played the game. Healthcare. Yeah, there's quite a lot of artificial intelligence that goes into healthcare. Quite a lot of robotics as well. More robotics than you would actually think. But yeah, good suggestion there. Anyone else? No one's got any ideas? Okay, fair enough. Well, let's go through some of the ones I've got on screen. So I've got ChatGPT. Yes, ChatGPT. I thought that was going to be the one that everyone was going to shout out, but yes, ChatGPT is a form of AI. Correct. So we've got a few different things on here. We've got a smart speaker on there, and that uses AI for speech recognition. We've got a camera on here, so a lot of cameras now have AI that can detect bad shots and delete them automatically. Like I said, we have toothbrushes, so if any of you heard of the company Oral-B, well, that uses AI to recognize your brushing style and the effect that has on your teeth. I don't know, it's a bit weird, but you know. And we've also got drones and cars, which can focus on tracking an object, like wildlife or a person or the road. My particular favourite example is self-driving cars, specifically, let me go back there, looking at Tesla's self-driving cars. So the way they work is they have 8 surround cameras, and those provide 360 degrees of visibility around the car and up to 250 meters of range. They also have ultrasonic sensors to complement that, and a forward-facing radar which helps see through heavy rain and fog and dust and even cars ahead. So it's really, really impressive how many sensors they use to help them see around the car. So there is so much in artificial intelligence in our everyday lives that they can be separated into different categories. So this includes things such as narrow AI, which can perform a task very well, general AI, which can perform the task at the level of a human, and super AI, which are smarter of humans in every field. Can anyone think of any narrow AI that they know of? Anything that can do a task really, really well? There's some suggestions already in the comments. They also don't have to be from real life, by the way. You can think of things from TV or movies or anything like that. So, like DALL-E, because it can only do art. That is correct. That is completely right. Yeah. DALL-E would be a form of narrow AI because it can do one task very well, but it can only do that kind of task. So, yeah, brilliant. So, the ones that I came up with were face recognition, so like on mobile phones, speech processing, chatbots, so like ChatGPT, and route planning software. General AI, well, we can only really come up with ones from TV and movies, such as R2D2 in Star Wars, or Eve or Wall-E from Wall-E. And then for super AI, again, we can only come up with fictional ones, such as Ultron in The Avengers. So as of right now, we are at the narrow stage of AI. There's some belief that we'll never make it past there, but who knows, maybe we will. One of the most important things to consider when designing AI are the ethical challenges and risks. So, some of these include things such as data protection. AI needs a lot of data to be able to actually work out what it needs to do, but sometimes that comes at the risk of stealing other people's data, so we need to be very careful on that. There are also things like biases. We need to make sure that AI doesn't benefit a single group of people, and that the people who are making or training the AI aren't making it biased towards that specific set of people. Jobs. Will they be replaced by AI? A lot of artificial intelligence has the potential to replace many different fields. And is it always safe to trust the recommendations of AI? So that was most of the things that I wanted to get covered today. We are going to look at a quick example of AI that you get to create yourselves, and in the next session you'll have a go at actually working it out yourself. But before I do, are there any questions on everything that we've covered today? If you've got any questions, now would be a good time to ask. Someone says how to get 9s in GCSE. I wish I knew how to get 9s at GCSE. I got quite a few 8s and quite a few 9s, but nothing more than that, so I wouldn't be able to say. GCSE computer science tips. That I can give you. I did the computer science GCSE and I got an A star, so the equivalent of like an 8 or a 9. I guess my tips would be practice as many papers as you can. Use I believe they still do a project at the end of the course, or like you get to make your own project. Use that as revision because you can cover a lot of information on that, particularly about how to actually build a project and how to go through the life cycle of a project. So use that. And yeah, online resources is going to be your best help as well. So yeah, great question. Someone says a bit confused about the biases. Comment, could you explain a little bit what you mean about the biases? What are you particularly confused on? Excuse me. Someone says, I do AQA and it's really difficult to find past paper or topic questions online. I didn't take the AQA paper, I took the OCR paper. So those papers would be slightly different. But in my experience, if you try some of the papers from other courses like Edexcel or OCR, it's still good practice. The wording might be slightly off, but you can still practice the kind of things that you want to learn. So I'd say still try out different, look up all the different examples, Edexcel, AQA, OCR, WJEC. Try all of them out. You'll probably find questions that are relevant to you. Okay, I'm not seeing too many questions, so for the last 5 minutes, I will show you one of the things that you can build with AI, and we'll cover it a bit more next session, but just to kind of give you a preview, this is called Teachable Machine, and yeah, I think it kind of speaks for itself, so I'm going to I'll show you what it looks like. So, this is Teachable Machine, and it is an AI algorithm which can classify things in your home. We'll go into what actual classification is next time round. But just to kind of show you, before this session, I classified 2 different objects in my house. I classified a tape dispenser, which I have here, lovely tape dispenser, and I also classified this skull that I found. And if all goes well, it should be able to tell the difference between the two. So let's try this out and see if it works. Oh, okay, there's Fliss, right. So let's try the skull first of all. As you can see on the screen, it says 100% certain it's a skull. If I take that away, it's not as sure. Now if I put the tape dispenser up, oh, there we go. It is 100% sure I'm holding a tape dispenser. So what it's done is it's gone through all the images, created a model, and is now able to figure out whether I'm holding up a tape dispenser or a skull, which is pretty cool. We'll be going into a bit more depth on behind the scenes of that next time. But yeah, that is a pretty cool example of AI that you can create at home. So I will quickly go through everything we just covered today, and then if there's any time left, we can go through some questions. So, wait for the screen to load. Aha! So, just to quickly go through what we went through today, we looked at what artificial intelligence is. We looked at the definition of artificial intelligence, aka a computer that appears to be intelligent, and we looked at the different words that are used to describe AI, that being artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning, which are all kind of the same thing, but also are a bit different. They are subsets of each other. We then looked at different examples of AI that we have in our lives. A lot of you came up with some amazing examples, so thank you for that, such as DALL-E and ChatGPT and self-driving cars and even toothbrushes. Then we looked at one of my favorite examples, self-driving car, and we looked at what kind of things that AI can do, and the fact that they can do so much that now that we've had to categorize them into 3 separate categories: narrow, general, and super AI, and some different things about what they do. Then we looked at something that is very important but often overlooked, which are the ethical challenges and risks associated with AI, aka data protection, biases, jobs, and do we trust AI? Then we looked at the example that we're going to go into more depth, which is the classical classification algorithm shown by Teachable Machine. I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this session. I've enjoyed teaching and getting to know all of you. Hopefully I'll see you all back next week on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. And if you wouldn't mind as well, filling out the form, I believe it is linked at the top of the screen. Oh, it's even just posted just then. If you could fill out your feedback on whether you enjoyed it, or if you liked it, if you didn't like it, yeah, that would really help us out. And if you've got any questions before this end of the session, feel free to ask. But yeah, thank you so much for your time. Thank you very much. I will see you guys next week at the same time again. Thank you guys.